Hi everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my bookshelf. I am a reader and a writer, and in this video I am sharing my latest book haul. And let me just say, I know I did a video recently where I said that I am part of the Read What You Own challenge, and I still am doing that. However, some of these books I had ordered already before the challenge, and I already had planned to go to a bookshop that I don't get to go to very often. And I actually donated books to the bookshop. It's a new and used bookshop, so I donated books to them that I had read, and then I bought books. Okay, so still doing the Read What You Own, and I am now like cutting myself off. I even closed down some of my book clubs. Okay, so I even went that far. Alrighty, so first of all, some books I ordered. These are from McFarland Publishing, okay? And McFarland, it's actually my publisher. It published they published a book I did back, was it 2015, I think that was published, about Florida literature. And I'll put a little, picture here of the book cover. Okay, so, but anyway, I now am writing a book about Jane Austen for them. It is an academic book, and they had their 40% off sale going on. It's an annual sale they do every year, and their books are not cheap. They're academic books, they're reference style books, so they are, they're a little bit on the pricey side typically. And so I went over to see what they had, and first of all, look at this. I just had to get this, okay? It's called Jane Austen and the Buddha, Teachers of Enlightenment by Catherine Duncan, all right? The back of it real quickly says, Jane Austen wrote 6 books at the beginning of the 19th century, all with happy endings. Yet below the courtship's novels sparkles wit and dance scenes, flows an undercurrent of suffering. Austen had a deep understanding of the sources and cure for suffering that shares much in common with Buddhism. She understood what was the Buddha's most fundamental teaching of the Four Noble Truths, that life contains suffering, that we can discover the causes of suffering, that we can end suffering, and that we can stop suffering by following the Eightfold Path. I honestly know very little about Buddhism. I know a lot about Jane Austen though. So I don't know. I just thought this was super interesting and different, and so I bought it. Obviously that's nonfiction. And then the other nonfiction work I bought was their companion. They have a companion series, which is, a mixture of information. It's McFarland's Companions to the 19th Century, Jane Austen, a companion, Laura Dabuno. And then they have some editors there. All right, and the back, written for readers at all levels, this book situates Jane Austen in her time and for all times. It provides a biography, locates her work in the context of literary history and criticism. I love that. Explores her fiction and features an encyclopedic, readable resource on the people, places, and things of relevance to Austen. So this is just like a general good reference book. So yes, so those are books that I had ordered before my book diet. Like I said, I ended up going to this cute little shop called Hello Again Books. It's in Cocoa Village, Florida, and it is a new and used bookshop. So I did a actual video where I just talked about it, and I will link it maybe in a card up here or something. But anyway, I donated, I think 4 or 5 books that I read already. I donated those books to them, and I had a list. I knew I wanted some books by Colleen Hoover, Inglyth Cooper. Actually, I'm saying her name wrong. What else? A couple other ones I can't remember now. They didn't have any of those, except for they did have some books by Colleen Hoover. And of course, I found some other books. And in fact, I got some really good sales. So let me just show you really quickly. I ended up getting the 2 latest books of Colleen Hoover. The 2 latest books. These go together. I believe this is the first one, and then this is the next one. It ends with us, and it starts with us. Okay. She's a romance writer, very popular. Lots of explicit material a little bit, that sort of thing. I read her book, Ugly Love. In fact, that's one of the books I donated, and so I wanted to read some more of her work. So yeah, so I picked up these two. These I paid regular full price new books. So like I said, they only had the Colleen Hoover books and nothing else on my list. So I just asked them, you know. This is the type of work I tend to like to read. I do like romance, but I also really am more of a contemporary women's fiction type of reader, you know, and I threw out a few titles of stuff I've read in the past, showed them what I brought them. I said, do you have anything similar? And so right away, one of the book folks suggested this, okay? It's called Still Life by Louise Penny. And it says, and honestly, if I had read the cover, I really just said okay, because it was $3.99. Okay, it was a used book. It's in really great shape. It's $4, and I just said, oh, okay. I'm not sure about this one. It sounds like it's a kind of a detective book, and I don't tend to really get into those. Chief Inspector Armand Gamache and his team of investigators are called to the scene of a suspicious death in a rural village south of Montreal, and yet a world away. Jane Neal, a local fixture in the tiny hamlet of Three Pines, has been found dead in the woods on Thanksgiving morning. The locals are certain it's a tragic hunting accident and nothing more, but Gamache smells something foul this holiday season. All right, so I'm not a big mystery person, but I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, it was actually $3.99, but when I went to check out, because I donated, they gave me 50% off all used books. So $2. If I don't read it, if I don't like it, I will donate it back to them. Then the other book they also suggested, also $3.99, so I got it for $2. This definitely sounds up my alley. It's called Vanishing Acts, Jodi Picoult. All right, and let's see, the inside cover says, Delia Hopkins has led a charmed life, raised in rural New Hampshire by her widowed father, Andrew. She now has a young daughter, a handsome fiancé, and her own search and rescue bloodhound, which she uses to find missing persons. But as Delia plans her wedding, she's plagued by flashbacks of a life she can't recall, and then a policeman knocks on the door, revealing a secret that changes the world as she knows it. That sounds super interesting to me. Okay, so, and it's a hardback. How nice, for $2. So, yippee-doo-dah. All right. So yeah, I just have a few more. I wasn't going to get this many books, but you know how it goes. So I was looking around. So once she started pointing stuff out in the used book section, and they were like $4, and I didn't know at the time I was going to get them for $2. I saw, what was it? I think I saw this on a display. And I was like, that looks interesting. The Vine Witch by Luann G. Smith. For centuries, the vineyards at Chateau Renard have depended on the talent of their vine witches, whose spells help create the world-renowned wine of the Chateau Valley. Then the skill of divining harvest fell into ruin when sorcerer Elena Bourneau was blindsided by a curse. Okay, this sounds a little, I'm not totally sure. It sounds a little fantasy-ish, but then it's also got a witch and a woman and wine, I was like, huh. So I picked this up, and they're like, well, that's part of a trilogy, and they had the other books. Okay. So I think the first one is The Glamourist. Okay. Abandoned as a child in turn-of-the-century Paris, Yvette Lenoir has longed to uncover the secrets of her magical heritage and tap her suppressed powers. Okay, so there's that one. And then I think, in fact, does it tell you? And then there's this one, The Conjurer. Cedra doesn't murder her husband, yet even a genie can't wish away a wrongful imprisonment. Determined to prove her innocence, she returns to her abandoned home, a French village renowned for its perfume witches, with her friends Elena and Yvette by her side. Here is where Cedra's true destiny awaits, but danger also lurks in the village's narrowing lanes. So, basically $6. I got a trilogy. Hopefully I'm going to like these. I typically shy away from series books, because once I get sucked in, then I feel this compulsion to read all of them, even if I don't really like them and I don't like to be put in that situation. But you know, it sounds interesting. It sounds like it's something that's going to stretch me a little bit, because it's got the sort of fantasy vein, but then it's got, you know, women and witches and stuff. So I hope I'm going to like these. Let me know down in the comments if you have already read any of these. Obviously, don't give me any spoilers. But if you're familiar with any of these titles or authors, I'd love to know your opinion about them before I get going. Needless to say, I have a huge stack of books now. I said I'm going to read 10 before I buy any more books, but probably it's going to be more than 10. I'm not even going to put a number on it now. I'm just going to try to read down the new books that I got before I buy any more books. Like I said, I've actually canceled all of my subscriptions to book clubs. I only had 2, but I canceled them. I mean, I have plenty to read, and it's not going to kill me, and it's not like I'm freaking out when a book shows up. I've got a lot of books. so anyway, yeah, there's that. So thank you so much for stopping by. Please give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon for notifications. And thank you for stopping by to see what's on my bookshelf. Bye.